Hey, how's it going? What brings you into Gert's guitars today? Well, guitars, obviously. But what kind of guitar? What are you thinking? An acoustic. Okay. We got a few choices. Um, Now we have some really expensive guitars, and we have some really cheap guitars. We have some in the middle. We have ones that fit different uses. So, first question I want to ask you is, what's your playing level at? Like, how good are you? Do you think? Just a just a beginner. Okay. Have you taken any lessons at all? Do you think? No. Okay. Well, first things first. We actually offer lessons here at Gert's Guitars, and I actually have a great teacher that I could recommend to you. So, yeah, you'd be interested. Awesome. Okay. Well, because you're a beginner, I wouldn't suggest spending a lot of money. Maybe you could get like maybe one of the beginner guitars or even an intermediate guitar. But what's your budget looking like, do you think? Okay. All right, we can do that. Were you thinking about buying used or new? Used. Okay. Well, I have a couple of guitars that I think would fit, but they're a little bit different, so I'll have to show them to you. Does that sound alright? Okay. Alright, the first one that I have is called a Washburn. Yeah. This one is the more pricey one of the two, but it is about 15 years old. It's a little beat up, but it sounds awesome. So, let me show you. Oh, goodness. So this is the guitar. As you can see, it's normal acoustic. It has the classic Gibson shape and normal acoustic with a bridge with little white pegs. Everything is pretty much standard. I'm not sure about the wood on this guitar, but it sounds really good and it feels really good. It's also electroacoustic, which means that you can plug it in, which is kind of cool. It sounds okay when it's plugged in, but after years and years, it kind of wears on it after a while. But you have your standard knobs here. You have your volume knob. You have your bass knob. And all of the EQ knobs stop right in the middle. Treble, mid, bass. Good. Okay. And no electroacoustic would be finished without... I dropped a thing. It's alright. We'll pick it up. The battery. So all you need is a plug, and it powers it. Without the power, it wouldn't be electric. On the back, there's some cool little ornamentations. Right down the spine, you have this cool, I don't know, it almost reminds me of Aztec. I don't know why. With a really nice dark brown wood. And it's got a couple of nicks and scratches and all kinds of stuff on the back, but that just comes with time. And then right here, you have that W, the little ornamentation on the bottom for Washburn. So there you go. And you can see it's been stained and lacquered. And it probably needs to be done again, but for now it's okay. And then you can also see the ornamentation around the edges. That kind of double stripe, and that goes all the way around. So that ornamentation continues and then shifts into this green and brown stripe. And it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stripes. It's very ornate. It's cool. And then all around here you have that same kind of design that you had on the spine. Just in little segments here around the hole. And then all the way up, you see them on each of these. What's that up there? I thought it was. Then you can also see on the side we have all the fret markings. So those are good. Okay. So it's got a really good sound. So we're going to focus on the positives for right now. So let me just play one chord for you. You ready? Tell me if you know what chord this is. You gotta remember it? Let me play it one more time. What do you think? It's a minor chord, yeah. Do you know which minor chord? D minor? No. A minor. Yeah. So you can play a little progression in A minor. So we can do an A minor. C. G. F. A minor. So there you go. That's your A minor progression. So you're getting free lessons already. But as you can tell, it sounds really, really good. I'm not even using a pick, and it sounds really good. It's got a nice clear tone, warm and rich, but not too stringy, not too bassy actually. There you go. Now, to move on to the things that aren't so good about this guitar. I don't know if you can see that, but there are these little cracks all throughout the guitar. You can even see it right here. It goes all the way from the bridge to the bottom. Same thing over here. Same thing over here. And you can see with this one, kind of fell and shattered it a little bit. And I think the biggest one of them all is this. It's hard to see, but it fell, apparently, because the owner wasn't very careful. And cracked the wood where it split from the bottom and went up. So sometimes when you play, your arm can kind of hurt, so that's not fun. But the trade-off is that you get really good sound, like really, really, really good sound. So overall, it's a very good guitar. A little weathered, but good. And if you like older guitars, it's pretty good for that. And just so you know, all the tuning pegs work. I can go through every single one. I can go E. Good, right? So it holds its tuning pretty well. But the key and the thing that the previous owner didn't really understand is that you have to take it inside every time you come home. Because a lot of times when you're playing shows or whatever, you have it in your car and you take it home and you just leave it in there because you don't feel like bringing it in. But when a guitar gets subjected to cold weather, warm weather, humid weather, dry weather, just like any wood, and especially really good wood, like they use for this, it warps and it condenses and it warps and it condenses. So it goes through that whole cycle, and eventually you get cracks like you see in this one. So just a friendly piece of advice. Okay, so that is the Washburn. It's a little more expensive, but it's better quality. Our next guitar is also an acoustic. And this one is a Dean guitar. This one is more along the lines of something you'd see as part of a beginner set. Although, because it's used, it means that the owner was able to make modifications. And so this used to be an electroacoustic guitar, naturally, but it didn't sound that great with those electronics. So the owner did something cool, because he likes to tear things apart and put them back together. At least that's what he told me. So he ripped out all the electronics that were in here, and he put this guy on there. And this is a sound hole cover that's also a microphone. So he can plug in from the bottom here. And it's an electroacoustic guitar, and it sounds really good. Same thing as the other one. The bridge is a little bit interesting. It has this kind of, I don't know, to me it looks like a nose. It's weird. Have you ever seen the movie Beetlejuice? Where it goes. That's what it reminds me of. But it has these standard pegs, and you can replace those with anything. You can go to a guitar store and get them if you ever lose them. It's got this cool finish on it. It's almost a wood grain sunburst, which you don't see that very often. And just like the other one, it has some ornate details. Like you have this going around the edge of the hole. Same kind of thing. It's kind of a three-line stripe with that same kind of thing right there. Sorry, my keys are getting in the way. So these are the defunct electronics. Kind of the same as the other guitar. You have your treble, your bass, your mid. This one has another one that's called Brilliance. That's pretty cool. And this one, the electronics are built into the battery. So you just pop this thing open. Or not. We won't do that. Never mind. I don't want to try. I'll probably mess it up. But the battery lives right in there. But I really like the look of this guitar. It's kind of like it's not brighter than the other guitar, but it's got more brilliance, I think. It's interesting when you look at it. More interesting than the other one, I think. The only problem with this guitar is that because it was a more inexpensive guitar the first time around before modifications, it isn't the best sounding guitar, but with the electronics they put in, it sounds a little better than it would have. So you can do some pretty cool chords. Stays in tune fine. Easy to change the strings, the whole thing. Actually, why don't I show you a few chords? Just don't tell the teacher that I did this for you, but really quick, I'll just teach you a couple. Alright, so my favorite chord that I like to play, my favorite three chords really, are G, which sounds like this. And the second one is C. And the third one is D. And that leads right back into G. It's really fun to play with those chords because they're the building blocks of chord progressions, of rock songs, of pop songs, of everything, pretty much. You can go all the way back to the classic period when Beethoven and Mozart were writing music, and they used the same kind of thing. They did a 1, 4, 5 progression. Everything kind of stemmed back to that. So it's very important. And really in any key you can do that. So you have, that's G, C, D. You can do E, A, B. You can do C, F, G. But we're going to stick with G. There we go. So the way you play G is you put your pinky right there. Then you take your fourth finger, or your third finger, that's the one. Then you put it right on the third fret of the E string. So both your pinky and your third finger are on G. And then some people, they like to mute the A string so that no sound comes out, but most people say to put your second finger down on the second fret of A. So there you go. There's G. Good, right? Okay. So, next one is C. In C, you start out by putting your first finger on the first fret of the B string. Then your second finger goes on the second fret of the D string. D string, not screen. That's weird. And then your third finger goes on the third fret of the C string. And then it comes out like this. So that was C. So now we have G, C. Sounds nice. So the next one is going to be a D. Okay? So it's going to sound like this. Okay. So first off, you have your second finger on the second fret of the E string, your third finger on the third fret of the B string, and your first finger on the second fret of the G string. Good. There you go. So we have G, C, D, G. Then you do some something like that. Yeah, you'll get it. It'll take time, but you'll get it. Okay. So, that is the Dean guitar. So, just to recap, the Dean guitar was a little bit less expensive, but it is a little bit less quality. Really started out that way. It has pretty cool decorative touches, and this cool little nose, custom electronics that sound pretty good, and it sounds all right. That's a Dean guitar. And then, the Washburn. It's a little lighter, made from a little bit better quality wood. The curves on it are a little better. I don't know what that means. It feels better, essentially. It has cool decorative touches that the other one doesn't have. Almost sounds like, or almost looks like it would be used by an Indian tribe or something. But it has these cracks. That come from wear and tear, dropping it and going on gigs and doing stuff and leaving it out in the car. And especially this one, that can kind of hurt your arm if you have it on it too long. But it does sound nice. Like we did those 3 chords. G should be in tune. Almost. We're so close. There we go. So we have G, C, D, G. I'll do that one more time. Just see, make sure you like how it sounds. G, C, make sure that's in tune. It didn't help that. C, D, G. Good, right? So, what do you think? Which one do you like? You don't know? You want my recommendation? Well, it depends. are you going to be plugging the guitar in a lot? Like, do you have an amp that you want to plug into? No? Well, do you eventually want to take it on the road? No? Just playing for yourself? Okay. Well, in that case, I would say that this one would be the better choice. Even though you're paying just a little bit more money, it's going to sound better. It's going to feel better. You won't have to tinker with it. You can still plug it in and you can hear it. So that's fine, but you don't need it for anything like crazy, right? No. Well, I think we can ring you up then. Really quick. One of the things that you get complimentary Eckert's guitars is, hold on 1 second, a complimentary pick. And this one is orange. I like orange. And if you look close, it's got a little turtle on there. Turtles are my favorite animal. My favorite color, favorite animal. Orange turtle. And on the turtle shell, it says Tortex. Tortex. It's interesting. And it's made by Dunlop. I think it's 0.9 millimeters. So with that can't be it. I don't know. It's something. But this is a medium pick. This is what pretty much most people use. Some picks have little rivets in them to help you grab on. Some are smooth like this one. Some have different materials. This is a normal kind of pick, a Tortex. It lasts forever, pretty much. Well, not forever. It'll wear down, but it won't ever break. So that's a good thing. So yeah, see, you can kind of hear how, yeah, it's not super thick, but it's just thick enough. Yeah, but it's a good pick. So you get that complimentary, which isn't that big of a deal. The one that is a big deal is today and today only. Eckert's Guitars, you get an awesome guitar stand. So the guitar stand, it's just a metal frame. And you can close it to keep your guitar safe. And basically, you can just take the guitar, put it right on there, close this up, keeps it from coming out. It's perfect. Means you don't have to set it on the floor. You don't have to set it anywhere other than on this. And you can see there's rubber. It's good rubber. The rubber won't hurt your guitar. And then metal. And you can adjust it any way that you want. So it can be a higher or lower, depending. And these things go up and down. So it can have compact storage. The other part of that is you can take this out, which is very convenient. You need a very small place to put it. So because it's a used guitar, we don't have a case for you. But it looks like it's a pretty nice day, so you can probably just take it out with you. Is there anything else you need from me? Oh, lessons. Yeah. by the way, the guy who does lessons is actually me. So if you ever need a lesson, just give me a call. Here's my card. So thanks for coming. I actually own this shop, so I really appreciate you coming in. We'll have deals like this all the time. Thank you. See ya.